like love.
If we're together, that's when we'll hear it again.
From Miss Saigon. I know it well. Beautiful song. Good morning. It is day 6. Oh no, is it? No. It is day 7. That was my 12-bed dorm room that I'm sleeping in. I've got a top bunk, obviously. It's actually quite cozy, although last night, for the first time, I didn't actually sleep as well as I have the rest of the time. Normally, I'm literally flat out and zonked and just wake up at 9 o'clock every morning. Last night, I struggled to get to sleep. Got to bed about 2 and then I stirred about like 6, so I did about an hour's work and then went back to sleep till about 11, which is the latest I've ever slept in. So yes, I'm now off. I've got loads packed in today, so it's going to be a busy one. So it's a bit cloudy today, no change there. So I'm here at Army on a Fringe to watch Unicorns Almost forgot what it was called. Now this play stars my friend Dan Krikler, who I've known for a few years since he trained at Lane and then went into Mamma Mia, and has recently focused on acting and was part of the cast of Present Laughter at the Old Vic. So this is a one-man play about the life and works of World War II poet Keith Douglas. Here at, I don't know what this building is, but there's lots of real-life soldiers sitting around. So I've just come from watching Unicorns Almost, which is a World War play, one-man show with Dan Krikler, based on the life of poet Keith Douglas. Now it's been written by Owen Shears, who Dan worked with previously on a play called Pink Mist, and it is beautifully written. It's quite a gentle play which really captures the time thanks to the incredible soundscape and music and lighting and Dan's performance. Now Dan originally trained at Lane before going into musicals like Jersey Boys and Mamma Mia, and then decided he wanted to focus in his acting, so did a BA, and since then he's just really gone from strength to strength, and he is a formidable, captivating performer and actor. I literally take my hat off to him. I think this play will definitely put him on the map, because that's the thing, sometimes when you're boxed in as a performer, especially if you've trained at somewhere like Lane, you don't really get the opportunity or chance to explore performance or acting. So Dan's really kind of done a very shrewd thing of focusing his attention on his acting, and it paid off because he is brilliant. This was a really, really nice play. So after the play, we sat down and had a little chat all about Dan's career. A play called Unicorns Almost.
Yeah, very good, well done.
Which I thought was going to be about
tits and titties.
Gay soldiers.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because it's a bit...
Yeah, it's funny, so like, I've done two, it's the second play I've done written by Owen Shears, and the first was called Pink Mist.
Yeah.
And the second one's Unicorns Almost, and they both have a kind of fairly like misleading title, but they're both, neither of them, yeah. So this is about, Keith Douglas, a World War II soldier and poet, true guy, amazing poet and really interesting guy, and no one knows who he is or knows anything about him, so it's really interesting. And Unicorns Almost is a kind of quote from one of his poems, one of the most kind of brutal poems of his, and it is a cool phrase, like, you know, I think, within it, yeah.
But brilliantly written.
Yeah, he's amazing. Yeah,
it's stunning. And for a one-man show, you've incorporated the soundscape as well, and the lighting, and...
Yeah, I mean, I'm boring as anything to like just have me go for like an hour.
I don't know, I think you've got
no, but I think
charisma.
like it was there's so much dialogue in it, and,
Yeah.
and we had to cut a lot. So
Right.
the original script, the play text you buy now, originally was running so long.
Is that to make it fit 60 minutes?
Yeah. For a festival time, and also just like I think a one person show much longer than an hour it's like a lot to ask.
Yeah. Now, Unicorns Almost is presented by Army at the Fringe, which is a sector of the Fringe which is run and operated by the Army. And they are based at an actual reserve centre on the outskirts of Edinburgh. Army at the Fringe have been running for 3 years, and there are several plays on there at the moment. So I spent so long chatting and catching up with Dan that I've now made myself late for the next play. And I'm running up this bloody hill in Edinburgh.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for coming along and supporting us and being Liza today. We are Interabang Productions. This is our debut at the Fringe. We are so thrilled to be here. Thank you for coming out and supporting us. I just want to say we are a grassroots theatre company, and we would not be where we are today without the support of some amazing people. So please put your hands together for my amazing mum and dad, Fiona and Peter Flynn. Thank you so much.
So I've just been to see Being Liza, a new play by Rachel Flynn. Rachel reached out to me after I saw her in The Big Band Does Broadway the other week. And she invited me to come and watch this show which she's created. It is a play about a girl who is a tribute act to Liza Minnelli and wants to get out of it. Basically, she kind of feels trapped by her father, who is part of the act. I mean, it's an interesting conceit. It mirrors similarly. I was an associate producer at London Theatre Workshop, where we did a show called Through the Mill, which later became called Judy. And that was a similar kind of, it used the music of Judy Garland, but revealed the kind of, in a biopic kind of way, her backstory. And this is a kind of similar take. Now, Rachel opened the show by impersonating Liza and coming out with wig and hat. But then later in the show, she didn't actually follow this up, which was interesting. When she was in character playing the Liza Minnelli tribute act, I don't really understand why she wasn't in a wig. I mean, that's a tiny detail. Generally, it was a noble effort. I think a lot of the dialogue and the performances were a bit awkward, but commendable, because obviously she's written it herself and she's put it on. The trouble as well with, because at the core of this, she is putting herself forward as a Liza Minnelli tribute act, or certainly playing a character who is a Liza Minnelli tribute act. So somewhere within that, you need to be passable as a Liza Minnelli tribute act. And although Rachel has got a great voice and does a commendable job impersonating Liza, it's a tough act. I mean, I've seen Christina Bianca this week and a drag queen impersonate Liza this week. And like I say, as much as I commend Rachel, her impression wasn't quite there. But like I say, I mean, it was enjoyable. It had heart. It just, I think as well, within the plot, there wasn't really a kind of sense of jeopardy. I mean, the stakes weren't really high enough. All she had to really lose, well, she didn't really have anything to lose, I think. So I've just been to see the Edinburgh TV Festival's interview with Russell T Davies and Boyd Hilton. Boyd Hilton has worked at Heat magazine for 20 years, and I did some work experience there a few years ago, and he's a lovely, lovely man. He knows everything about TV, so he was the perfect choice to interview Russell T Davies, the man who created the series Queer as Folk 20 years ago, and then went on to relaunch Doctor Who, and most recently the series Years and Years. He is a brilliant writer, and it was really fascinating to listen to him talk about his career and the process he goes through in making these incredible, incredible shows, and to get some little insight into these shows and his experience. It was a brilliant hour, well spent. I really enjoyed it. It's like love.
If we're together, that's when we'll hear it again. Song
From Miss Saigon. I know it well. Beautiful song. Oh my god, it's a Devet, people. Let me say hello to them. I then bumped into Devet on the mile. Now this was a drag trio that I met the other day, and I really wanted to stop and speak to them. So I pulled out my microphone, shoved it in her face, had a lovely conversation. Unfortunately, for some reason the mic didn't work, so you can't hear any of it. But you can see, if you can lip read, have a little look what she's saying and let me know.
It's there. Yeah. You look incredible. Thank you. That's your first Sunday, and I think it's amazing. Thank you. Thank you. How long have you been doing this show? I've been doing this 15 years. 15 years in Finland, yeah. Now first time at the Fringe. First time outside the borders of Finland, yeah. And how's it been being in Scotland? So nice. We have had a lot of full houses. We have had crazy audiences. Like people are like sing along, like dancing, screaming. Yeah. What's it called? It's like a lecture hall, isn't it? Yeah, lecture hall. Why they put me in a lecture theater? Yeah, with no moving lights or not. Next year I'm gonna have a checkpoint, I think. Yeah. That'll be a good venue. I wanna have that. Have you been to see Christina Bianco? She's there. Yeah, I saw Bianco. Amazing. Amazing. I love impressionists too, yeah. I'm more an impersonator. Like drag is so wide range of what drag is. But we are doing impersonations. Like we have in our show 30 World Stars impersonating them from Cher to Celine Dion to Shakira, Elton John, Bruno Mars, Freddie Mercury. Also we have men, yeah, in our drag show. What is your favorite one to do? Whitney Houston. Every night, I don't know why. I love I like Whitney, but still, I love Whitney. Was the best singer in the world. You need probably in a blackout. Yeah, I would. Yeah, next year. I'm gonna have it. Yeah. It's been a pleasure to meet you. I really enjoyed the show. Good luck with the rest of the road. Yeah, last week, few days left. Yeah.
Absolutely gutted about that. That's what happens when you buy microphones off eBay. Back at the space to see another couple of pairs. The cat's a thing. There she is. Oh, and the Good Scout apparently has just announced that it's going to get a transfer to Above the Stag starting October. Apparently, not all the cast could join them. They will be casting one new person. But that's exciting. They did their previews in London at Above the Stag. So, and it's a great, great play. So it's good that London will be able to see.
Thank you so much for coming out and coming to see us. We are Red Biscuit. If you want to tweet us and Instagram us and stuff, it's @WeRedBiscuit. If you want to leave a review on the Ed Fringe website, that'd be lovely. Word of mouth is also massive at this Fringe, so if you think your friends would like it, please send them along, and if you think they'd hate it, send them as a joke. We also printed way too many posters, so we're literally giving them away. Feel free not to take them because they're massive and a waste of space, but if you want them, they're yours. Come in to sell them. Thank you so much for coming.
So I've just been to see something called The Very Well-Fed Caterpillar, and they gave me a poster. Isn't it beautiful? It was honestly probably one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen. In a good way. It was bonkers. Part physical theatre, part improv. I mean, it was structured and they had a script, but the five of them are all dressed in black and they deviate the script and try to do it. I think it feels like almost a game to try and put each other off. And then, yeah, it's wacky, it's bizarre, zany, but very funny. And everybody, including myself, seemed to be enjoying it. So, yeah, well done. It was a group of 5 university students, all quite different looking, from Cirencester University. I think that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, check it out. I went to see Musik with a K, the new Pet Shop Boys musical written by Jonathan Harvey. It is a follow-up to their musical Closer to Heaven, which originally starred Frances Barber, who is back in this musical as a kind of sequel or a follow-up, playing the same character, Billy Trix, who, if you've seen Closer to Heaven, which is currently at Above the Stag, you'll know all about it. So this is a new show which has 4 new Pet Shop Boys songs and 2 that they've borrowed from Closer to Heaven. And it has all of Jonathan Harvey's hallmark one-liners. Now, I'll be honest, the songs didn't really grab me. But Frances Barber is an incredible actress, and her performance alone is just worth seeing. It kind of felt very much in the realms of Ab Fab or any of Jonathan's best work, such as Beautiful People or Beautiful Thing. So yeah, I think for that it was worth seeing. As regards to a musical, it just felt a bit Europop, Eurovision. Not quite that good. So I've just been for a quick drink with my friend Paul Vale, who's a reviewer for the stage, and bumped into the lovely Stuart Saint, who's doing a show here, and my little buddy Keith Ramsey, who's got a week off from rehearsals from his new show and decided to spend it here in Edinburgh. It was lovely to catch up with him, and I will probably try and see him again later in the week. So I'm now off to bed. Oh, there's a seagull. Who knew we were by the sea? Good night.